Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to MBA Karo. So, in this revision series for CMAT 2024, we are going to have a VARC marathon, and in this, we will cover the different type of questions that you can expect in CMAT. So, CMAT basically, like there is no set distribution in CMAT. It keeps varying year on year, and if there are multiple slots in a year, then it can vary across slots. Okay, so if you look at the common type of questions, the common questions are your RCs, then some on error spotting, fill in the blanks, idioms and phrases. So these are primarily the questions that are asked in CMAT. So and vocab based questions as well. So let us practice these questions in this session. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for great content on MBA prep. In case you are preparing for CMAT, and we have a course for it, so in case you wish to prepare in the last moment, you can enroll in the same. And if you are looking for mock test, we have CMAT mock test as well, right? So it is based on the latest pattern with updated current affairs and I&E questions. So you can check out the link given in the description of this video, okay, for these mock tests. And the link is given here below. So let's start with the first question. So this is a parajumbles question. So you are given four sentences. You need to arrange these sentences in a meaningful order. So what will be the right order of these sentences? So let us look at this thing. So it says those themes dictated what we included and highlighted, right? So it should be those themes. So some theme should be mentioned here. Okay. Now, if you look at this, it talks about themes. Okay. It says one such theme. Okay. So these three sentences should be like connected in some way or the other, because these three sentences are talking about themes, right? Ab those themes pehle nahi aayega, because like those is a pronoun that will be used once the word theme has been used. One such theme, it will also not come before. So this should come before these two sentences, right? So you can eliminate B, because B cannot come and end. Okay. uh, Now if you look at this, like book has an overall pattern consisting of continuing but not always overt themes. Now it can be BA or BC. So BA is here, BC is here, BC is here, right? So that is the link. And if you look at, we aim to illuminate India's historical role as a diverse melting pot. So this looks like some sort of outlier. It does not connect with these three. So obviously it has to be a paragraph, a part of paragraph. So A will either come at the end or in the beginning. So or it could be the book has overall pattern consisting of continuing but not always overt themes. One such theme, now it connects these two sentences. Okay, so histories of India, we aim to illuminate India's historical role as a diverse melting pot. So now if you look at this, first it talks about the book. So book has themes, and those themes what we included and highlighted, and one of the themes was this, and so CD is a pair. Okay, so it will start with B and follow in this way. This makes sense because see, we are talking about a book. Okay, and then it says that it consists of continuing but not always over themes. Those themes dictated, so themes will come first, those themes will come next, and then it talks about one special theme that was about histories of India, and this further explains India's historical role. So in that book they try to show India's historical role as a diverse melting pot. So C and D are connected. So B, A, C, D. Okay, next one. This is an easy one. So we need to tell that what will be the right order in this case, right? So it says that unlike Pathfinder, this craft. So unlike means we are comparing with something. Okay, we need to compare some other ones. Okay, so like if you see this Mars Global Surveyor, it is being compared. Okay, so DA makes a pair. It talks about this Mars Global Surveyor and unlike Pathfinder. So it is different from Pathfinder. Okay. And when we say instead is again used to show that what are the differences. So it shows that like this is the new spacecraft, and it is not like Pathfinder. It will not land on Mars. Instead, it will do this. So DAC make a pair, and then like it talks about this where will it land. Okay, it will orbit around 250 kilometer and it will be in a polar orbit. So DACB is in that order. Okay, the right answer is DACB. Okay, here's the next one. So mostly like you will get parajumbles of four sentences. हो सकता है 5 सेंटेंस वाले भी आ जाए. See, IND you can cover, like I took one session also, and last year I had a playlist also. So IND is like if you read for one day, you can cover most of the questions. Static GK is very vast. Okay, if you have built it over time, ऐसा नहीं है कि like अगर आप लास्ट में एक हफ्ते कर लोगे, so I mean you can cover some of the things. So instead of that, focus on things which can be maximized. Now, this is a five sentence parajumble. Okay, if you look at this thing, it talks about films and music in that. So, if you look at the options, E is the starting sentence in most of the cases. One is C. Okay, almost every film had a background score which ran through the length of film. The score was live. Okay, CA makes sense. Sometimes there was only a piano, but like this is not more like a, like if you look at sentence E, it is more like an introductory sentence. The films of the silent era did not talk, but they were never watched in silence. So that means there were no dialogues. Okay, so if you know, there used to be silent films in the past. Okay, sound to काफी बाद में आई थी. So they were, it says that the films were not silent. So how they are not silent? So it says that the dialogue was presented through intertitles that were often in English and two or three Indian languages. So there was something called intertitles. Okay, and then it says almost every film. Now, if you look at these sentences, C, D, and A, that talks about the background score. So they have to be together in some format. Okay, so E to starts in sentence. So if you take E, then C is talking, B is talking about dialogue, okay, and these three are talking about score, background score, and this is also about sound, right, of music. So A, C, D should be together. Okay, इसमें C D A साथ में आ रहा है, D C A आ रहा है, C A D आ रहा है. So we need to check in what order should they fit, right? Should B come in the end or B come before it? This is more like of introduction of background score, and the score was live. We use the once we have described something. So C के बाद A makes sense that there was a background score. The score defines this score was live and helped dramatize the narrative. Sometimes there was only a, now it is describing, further describing that what kind of score was there. Sometimes there was only piano, but there were several films with this. So सी ए डी एक पेयर बन रहा है. ठीक है, ई से स्टार्टिंग है. सो इट शुड फिट लाइक दिस, ई बी सी ए डी, right? So E talks about the films of this. B says that dialogue was there through intertitles and they were in English or two, three Indian languages. And then CAD described about the background score. How was the background score? How did they create the background score? What were the musical instruments that were used? Okay, so that is the correct answer. Okay, so you can anticipate questions from parajumbles in the exam. Usually four, rare case में five sentence, but it will be easy one. Or of course there are options and parajumbles. Okay, so this is a passage. Read and answer the questions based on it. CMAT में passage बहुत easy आता है. Short passage होगा 250 300 words के around, not like lengthy passages like cat. And the questions are also very simple. This is usually the higher end passage की length पे. वैसे passage होगा 150 words, छोटा छोटा passage आता है and questions are straightforward. So read the passage. This is an interesting passage to read and answer the questions. Perfect. So now onward, we will have some sessions on CMAT revision. Uh, Over the weekend, we will have like quiz on current affairs. Okay, and likewise, we will have other section revisions as well. So have you read the passage? Okay, so let's look at this passage, okay, and understand what does it say, right? So short passage. I hope you must have read this passage by now. So it says that allow me to spare you to the hyperbole. Usain Bolt is fast. He is, as far as we can tell, the fastest human who has ever lived. In 2009, he ran this in 9.58 seconds. This then he talks about his average speed. Okay, speed in miles per hour. Okay, and top speed. His 2009 performance was better than 2008 Beijing Olympics. So he's compared his two performances 2008 and 2009. Then it says that the fattest chunk ever taken off a world record at that distance. So fattest chunk ever taken off, what does it mean? That it was beating by the highest margin. Like what it says is 9.69 से 9.58 तक हो गया. So that is the biggest difference point. That is the biggest difference. बाकी जैसे 0.07 का difference होगा, 0.04 का difference होगा, that was a huge difference. That is what they've said, that it was a huge difference. Okay, so then it says that uh, considering the unadulterated simplicity of his vocation and the historic magnitude of his dominance, it's easy to argue that Bolt has been the world's greatest athlete in the past 5 years. So it is like, by his dominance, you can say that he's the best. And yet, there's an even easier argument to make that one. Within the next 10 years, Bolt's achievements as a sprinter will be annihilated. Right? What is the meaning of annihilated? Annihilated means something that can be destroyed or damaged. Okay, so his record can be, so he says that it is easy to say that he is the best, and it is also easy to say that this can be broken down. Now he says that this is not guaranteed, but it is certainly more plausible than speculative. So now he has shown the trend for last 30 years. Men's record has been assaulted so continually that many of its former record holders don't even qualify as difficult answers to trivia questions. Okay, so it says that earlier, then Jim Hines broke this 10 second barrier, right, in 1968. Then in 15 years, his record stood, then 9.93 came as the new record, right? Then, like multiple times, the record has been broken. Okay, so what does he say is, he compares the history that the records have been breaking continuously. So he's speculating that no doubt he's the fastest right now, but his records will be broken down, right? It happens in cricket also. Like, let's say, sometimes people thought that Sachin will be the highest centuries, right? Then Kohli broke his record. People thought that creating 200 is not possible. ठीक है, आरसीबी ने सोचा था 263 का रिकॉर्ड कोई नहीं तोड़ पाएगा. इस साल कितनी बार आरसीबी का रिकॉर्ड ही टूट गया. Okay, so basically the same thing he's trying to say, that although he is the best, but scores can be uh, like eliminated for the records can be broken multiple times, right? So what is the main idea conveyed about Usain Bolt's legacy in the passage? What is the main idea behind this? First says that he is currently the fastest sprint in the world. Yes, it is mentioned that he is the fastest. His records have remained unchallenged for decades. Like, see, he is recently the fastest, right? So his records have not been, like, it's not that he वो बहुत पुराना athlete रह चुका है. So that is not there. Okay, he is the undisputed greatest athlete of all time. Yes, he is. He has mentioned this, right? Currently fastest hai, undisputed best hai. His achievements will likely be surpassed in the future. Now this entire passage is not about Usain Bolt, right? It is not about कि Usain Bolt is the fastest and his records are the best. The passage is about the records can be broken in the future. So second paragraph में वही समझाना चाह रहा है कि like if you see the history, people have kept breaking the records of past people. So that is the main idea here, that his achievements can be surpassed in the future. Okay, so like this last sentence of this paragraph, basically this is the main gist of the passage. Starting में यूसेन बोल्ट के records बता रहा है, but the thing he is talking about is his records will never be forever. So he has given examples in the second paragraph that why he thinks so. How has the men's record in the 100-meter dash been affected in the past 30 years as mentioned in the passage? Now this is comparatively a simple question. So it has been broken multiple times. तो simple सा है. ठीक है, वही तो कह रहा है कि records break होते जा रहे हैं. Okay. What is the tone of the passage towards the future of sprinting records? So how does the author feel about the future of sprinting records? How does he project the future? क्या कह रहा है future के बारे में? So he is optimistic. देखो, like within the next 10 years, he is saying that his his achievements will be annihilated. Okay. So basically, he is optimistic that this will be broken down, and he has given the like the second paragraph tells that he is of the opinion. The author's opinion is that the records will be broken in the future. So he is optimistic that these records will keep on improving. Right? पहले से improve हो रहे हैं और आगे भी improve हो. Okay. So I hope you are enjoying this session thus far. So please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Let's move to the next set of questions. This is error spotting, and this is a simple one. So the CMAT will have these kind of passages which are easy to read, easy to understand, and will have simpler questions. So इसमें खेल होता है vocabulary, grammar, इन सब चीजों में आपकी accuracy सही होनी चाहिए. प्लस क्वांट एंड रीजनिंग तो है ही. So which part of the sentence has an error? Full stop. And what is the error? So if you look at this sentence, there are several ways in that the government. So यहाँ पे that नहीं आएगा. Instead of that, it should be in which the government as well as ordinary citizens can spread literacy. Okay. Okay. So easy one. So that के साथ as well as नहीं, that has no link with as well as. Okay, you are capable. Like whenever we use capable, we use the word of with it. Okay, capable of, capable for नहीं होता है. Capable के साथ सही preposition है capable of. Okay, so right one. No, you cannot challenge your CVT scorecard, right? It must be as per your the response sheet which they gave. He had hardly no experience in woodworking, but he decided to build his furniture. So he decided to build furniture. What happened? What is wrong in that? See, he says that he hardly has no experience in woodworking. Understand that hardly is a negative word, right? Hardly is used for a negative word, okay? And we cannot use double negative use नहीं होता है. So hardly के साथ we always use any. He had hardly any experience in woodworking. Whenever we use hardly, we use any with that. She managed to complete the marathon in record time despite of feeling exhausted. So this is a very common error and you should know this error. और काफी बार काफी एग्जाम्स में ये एरर्स पूछा जाता है. Like if you have gone through this, okay, you must be knowing that either we use despite or we use in spite of. ठीक है. खाली इन स्पाइट यूज नहीं करते. इन स्पाइट ऑफ भाई सेम मीनिंग होती है. डिस्पाइट इज इक्वल टू इन स्पाइट ऑफ, मीनिंग इज सेम. सो ईदर वी यूज इन स्पाइट ऑफ और वी यूज डिस्पाइट. सो डिस्पाइट ऑफ इज, ठीक है, या तो हम यहाँ पे कहेंगे इन स्पाइट ऑफ फीलिंग एग्जॉस्टेड और वी यूज डिस्पाइट. Okay, so this is a very common error which is often tested. I asked Shishpal to clean the car and he did a well job. Okay, so this is also an easy one. He did a good job. We do not say well with, like all the good and well are synonyms, but there are some contextual words. We cannot say well job, right? Or good job, great job. We can use good also, we can use great also. Okay, well is not used with, like it does not like define describe job. So it has to be well job or great job. Okay, so here's another passage. Read it. It is about layoffs and answer the questions based on it. So read this passage. It's about aging workforce. Okay, so it seems to be an easy one. It says that main challenges, right? So if you look at the first line, it says the workforce is aging, leading to a persistent labor shortages, right? So it talks about workforce is aging. Okay, people are getting old, and there is labor shortage. Layoffs across industries have bred mistrust, and power has shifted from employers to employees with increased union activity and pushback on return to work and other policies. So now employees have become more powerful, it says. People are choosier and want to see alignment, how they want to work, and how companies are managed. Yet, companies still need great people. Even companies that are cutting back are also hiring. Here are strategies that can help companies avoid boom bust hiring cycles as they shift resources. So, there have been mass layoffs, right? Old people are aging, and new people are quite choosy about the companies, right? They want to, like, they have more power. They want to choose that how they want to work and how companies are managed, so they are particular about it. And these companies who are laying off employees are also hiring. Now it gives some strategies. So first strategies is use disciplined hiring to ensure that people's growth is managed. So disciplined hiring is one of the strategies. Okay. Require each new position to be justified on an individual basis with a direct connection to whether it adds value. Okay, so it means that you need to not hire unnecessarily. Like if you talk about the recent scenario in corporate world, what happened during COVID is lot of companies they hired excessively. They did not need those many people, but वो just ने बहुत सारे लोग hire कर लिए company बड़ी करने के लिए. But later on, now they are not useful to them, so they are firing it. So it says that you should have disciplined hiring. You should ask that justify each individual that is that person relevant to the company. Okay, keep a sharp eye for reporting structures and so on. Strengthen and streamline process that create value from a new product development to improving existing products and services. So, like if you are making new products or services and existing ones, it should create value. Okay, and use the power of attrition to reduce staff in areas that need to shrink. Okay, what is attrition? What is attrition? So it says use the power of attrition. So attrition means reduction, right? So we say that attrition rate, how many people have exited the company. So you need to reduce the staff in areas that need to shrink. And like there is, like it talks about that if you forcefully remove people, it affects the existing people also. Facilitate accessible opportunities for employees from units facing closure to transition into expanding departments. So basically, you shift employees from units from closure to expanding units. Okay, and offer training to people. Let us say some production department is uh, like it is getting closed. So if that is getting closed, shift them to some other department by providing them training. So that is how you can manage the layoffs, right? So in a healthy way, that is what it says. Now main challenges is it is not labor shortage. Okay, increase employer power. It says opposite. Employees have more power. What is employer and employee? Employer means company. ठीक है, एम्प्लॉयर का मतलब होता है कंपनी, एंड एम्प्लॉय इज द वर्कर. Okay, employer is not a word for the person who is working, it is the word for the company. So increased employer power, it says employees have more power. Lack of union activity, it is saying opposite, they have more union activities now. So this is what is mentioned as the main challenge, like the workforce is aging and it is leading to labor shortages. What does the passage suggest about the impact of voluntary departures versus forced layoff? एक पर्टिकुलर पैराग्राफ है, आई थिंक सेकंड लास्ट वन, उसमें डायरेक्ट दिया है इंफॉर्मेशन. What does it say about forced departure versus, like, voluntary departures versus forced layoff? So if you look at this, it says the difference यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट दिया है between voluntary departure and forced one through a layoff affects, uh, through a layoff affects not only people who leave but also the engagement and productivity of far greater number of remain. Okay, so like if you give layoff, it affects not only the people who leave but also the people who remain in the company. Okay, so it says that like they have no significant impact. That is wrong. Okay, voluntary departures have a greater impact. It says forced layoffs have a greater impact. Okay, it says that forced layoff has more impact. What strategy does the passage recommend to avoid out of control growth in reporting structures? So, how does the author say that you need to control out of growth in reporting structures? So, it says like reports वाला कहाँ पे दिया है? यहाँ पे दिया ना, keep a sharp out of reporting structures that layers single direct reports, a clear sign of out of control. So it says that you need to have like a sharp eye for reporting structures that layers single direct reports. Okay, so it basically says that like you need to have single direct reports. So if you are saying D, it is opposite. It is not saying ki increase the layer of direct report. It is saying that you should have single direct reports. So let us read this paragraph. Attrition to reduce staff. No, attrition to reduce staff is not there. It is mentioned here. इसका इससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. Implementing rigid hiring policies. It does not say rigid hiring policies. Rigid means very like strict sort of thing. uh, Instead it says that disciplined hiring. ठीक है, there is a difference between rigid hiring and disciplined hiring. Rigid मतलब आप hire ही नहीं कर रहे हो. Discipline means that you are hiring but with every precaution. And if you read further, it says that require a new position to be justified. ठीक है, अगर आप position justify करोगे, then you are going to have a disciplined hiring. That if you are justifying that yes, we need two people for sure. Now, if you look at this, it says requiring justification for each new position. So if you have justified every position in the company, so that will help us reduce that unnecessary numbers of direct reports. So we have to decrease this, right? There is an increasing. So it says that keep a sharp eye out for reporting structures that clear single direct reports change. If there are too many direct reports, that is going to make out of control growth. So there should be single direct report. For that, you should justify who needs to be hired in the company. Okay, so this is the right answer. So if you justify the hiring process, then you can control the unnecessary growth, out of control growth in the workforce. Okay, so in case you are preparing for CMAT and are looking for mock tests, okay, we have mock tests for CMAT. You can try those tests. Now let's do synonym antonyms. Okay, they are also a part of uh, दिस पेपर. तो इसमें ये डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर सिनोनिम एंटोनिम्स वगैरह से हो जाता है क्योंकि लाइक पैसेजेस इजी आते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आर एबल टू आंसर देम करेक्टली. ग्रामर एंड vocab create the difference. What is the meaning of superlicious? Okay, so some are saying A, some are saying B. Superlicious basically means arrogant. Okay, so it is not intelligent, it is arrogant. It is someone who is very proud of his or her achievements. Ambulate. Okay, what does it mean? Support, walk, guess, summarize. So ambulate, मतलब कुछ लोग हो सकता है like support करें, but ambulate is not support. So ambulate basically means to walk. Okay, so ambulance word has been derived from ambulate. So like ambulance is basically what? It's a walking vehicle. ठीक है, तो walk, walk say walk, ambulate means walk, and ambulation this ambulance is created using this root word ambulate. Okay, this I guess many of you might be knowing this serendipity. What is the synonym of this word? So serendipity basically means a sort of luck. ठीक है, तो serendipity होता है जो कोई चीज मतलब you like surprising element, if it involves some surprising element which you did not anticipate of, right? So अगर कोई अच्छी, usually in a positive sense, right? So bad एक होता है bad luck, एक होता है positive luck. तो कोई चीज अच्छी हो जाती है अपने साथ, we call it serendipity. So the right word is fortuity. So good fortune, that is what is serendipity. Okay. Salubrious. Okay, what is the meaning of this word salubrious? Now, this is what is a differentiating factor. Like sometimes there will be some words which you may not have heard of, right? Anyone heard of this word salubrious? Like I believe that जैसे serendipity था, my guess was that many of you might have heard of that word, but salubrious कम लोगों ने सुना होगा. Salubrious means something which is hygienic and healthy. Okay. Now sometimes you can make a guess, sometimes like you cannot guess. Like कई बार होता है ना, root word से आप guess कर सकते हो. but ये ऐसा word है that you do not know. Like many people do not know about this word. Impulsive. Impulsive, you must be knowing that. Then you need to see this. Impulsive means what? कहते हैं this person is बहुत impulsive है. Impulsive basically means like a person who reacts quite quickly. ठीक है? We say that the person has an impulsive nature. तो बहुत जल्दी से जो एकदम से शेक हो जाता है. ठीक है? That is impulsive. Like if a person gets triggered very easily, ठीक है? That is called impulse. हम कहते हैं ना impulse. Sometimes you must have heard of this word impulse also. So impulsive is a person who gets shaken away very easily. So the right word here is flaky. Flaky means a person who can be like who is not, I would say that not strong enough to resist. Okay, so person who gets triggered easily, that is called impulsive or flaky. No, impulsive is not just कैसे होगा? Just means fair, so impulsive is not fair. Okay, this must be easy one, like if you have heard of this word. Now again, vocab is very subjective. ठीक है, कई लोगों ने वर्ड सुने होते हैं, कई नहीं सुने होते हैं. So like even if a person has a very strong vocabulary, when they appear on the examination, they come across some new words. ठीक है, ये तो हमेशा होता ही है. Right, so pernicious, maybe if you read, you might have heard of this. Pernicious means something which is harmful. Pernicious is used with diseases. So benign is the opposite. Benign means somewhat friendly, something which is friendly in nature. So pernicious is harmful. Quintessential. So quintessential means something which is important. ठीक है, important या essential. Opposite is trivial, like or rather I would say significant. Right, opposite is trivial. Trivial means something which does not have much significance. Right. Ephemeral. What is the meaning of the word ephemeral? So ephemeral means something which is short-lived. Yes, correct. Ephemeral means something which is short-lived or temporary. So the opposite is durable. Okay, durable is something which is uh, for a longer period of time. Absolve. हार्नेस, नहीं हार्नेस नहीं है उसका आंसर। वो एब्सॉल्व नहीं सुना है? No, in vocab, this is the case. Like if you know the word, you know. If you don't, so keep in mind in exam, if you do not, if you are not 100% sure, do not mark those answers. You इसमें negative जा सकता है, right? Absolve means to set someone free, right? Or remove, like जैसे होता है ना कि acquit someone. Okay, so opposite is accuse. Absolve का मतलब होता है किसी के allegations remove करना. Set someone free of, जैसे जुडिशियल टर्म्स में यूज होता है ना, एब्सॉल्ट, एक्यूज्ड. सो एब्सॉल्व मींस टू से दैट द पर्सन हैज is not wrong. Okay, हाँ, or rather say you would say forgive, that's a better word. Okay, so accuse is opposite of. Give the antonym of fabricate. ये तो easy होगा. I expect all of you to answer this one, and after this session you can evaluate yourself that what is your accuracy. ठीक है, and प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन एब्सॉल्व का एक्यूज था ना, एब्सॉल्व का. फैब्रिकेट तो इजी होगा, लाइक यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड ऑफ दिस फैब्रिकेटिंग समथिंग. फैब्रिक वर्ड, फैब्रिक यूज होता है ना क्लोथ्स में. सो फैब्रिकेट मीन्स टू बिल्ड समथिंग. ठीक है, फैब्रिक वर्ड होता है, कहीं कहीं पे रूट वर्ड काम आते हैं, कहीं पे नहीं आते, लाइक फैब्रिक. फैब्रिक वर्ड आपने सुना होगा, थ्रेड ऑफ क्लॉथ, राइट? सो फैब्रिकेट मीन्स टू बिल्ड समथिंग. द ऑपोजिट इज डिस्ट्रॉय. Okay, so how many synonym antonyms did you get correct? So we had 10 questions on synonym antonyms, 5 5. कितने सही हुए? So इनमें accuracy रहती है कि like 60-70% रहती है. 100% rare case है, because people are generally not aware of all these words. ठीक है, हो सकता है किसी ने कोई वर्ड सुना होता है, किसी ने कोई सुना होता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर reading and how much good you are at English, etc. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying this session thus far. Let's move ahead and look at the next set of questions. So here is another RC. Okay, so read this passage. Something about Disneyland. So how a boy entered there and how did he work? So passages about it. So इस तरह के पैसेज होंगे स्टोरी बेस्ड, लाइक जैसे कैट, कुछ एग्जाम्स होते हैं जिनमें थोड़े डीपर पैसेज आते हैं, लाइक कैट्स एट. सो यू वोंट गेट दोस काइंड ऑफ पैसेजेस. It could be like some science and tech, or it could be some stories, right? It could be some like environment, nature, ऐसे topics होंगे which are reader friendly, I would say, easy to read and understand, and the questions will also be of simple nature. You won't have critical reasoning questions and all, so lesser chances of getting those difficult ones. And you have enough time to attempt the paper also, so ऐसा भी नहीं कि shortage होगी कि passage नहीं पढ़ सकते and all. So read this passage and then answer the questions. Okay, right? So you need to give a suitable title to this passage. Okay, title based passages हो सकता है, like I mean again those would be very difficult passages to read. They would be fairly simple ones, and like it's easy to answer the questions. Okay. So it says that, like it talks about 1955, Disneyland had just opened. There was a 10-year-old boy. He asked for a job. Okay, एक छोटा बच्चा है, 10-year-old boy. He asked for a job, and labor laws were loose back then, and the boy managed to get a job. He used to sell guidebooks, right? So and then within a year he had transitioned to Disney's magic shop, where he learned tricks from older employees. Then he became magician. Okay, he experimented with jokes and tried out simple routine on visitors. Soon he discovered that what he loved was not performing magic but performing in general. He set his sights on becoming a comedian. So he started with selling guidebooks. Then he became a magician. He became a magic performer, and then he realized that that is not his. Like he does not like to perform magic, right? He likes performing in general. Okay. So then he started wanted to become a comedian. Beginning his teenage, he started performing little clubs around Los Angeles, and then he started in clubs. His act was short and like was less than 5 minutes, and like people did not pay much attention to him. Okay, and once he gave his stand-up routine to an empty club. So earlier he used to give it clubs where people were there. So people, like it was a short act. मतलब आप किसी मान लो किसी क्लब में जाते हो, कभी परफॉर्मेंस कर रहे होते हैं लोग, राइट? सो यू हार्डली पे अटेंशन टू देम, क्योंकि आप अपने में बिजी होते हैं, कोई पार्टी कर रहा है, ऑल राइट, पीपल आर ईटिंग देयर, सो नो वन actually cares if it is for a short duration. So once he went to an empty club, and he like then it says that he was getting better at this, and like first routine would be, so like his first he was making 1 or 2 minutes, gradually like 5 minutes, ठीक है, 1 और 2 से 5 पे आया, फिर 5 से 10 पे आया, right, and 20 minutes पे चला गया. Okay, he had to read 3 poems during the show just to make the routine long enough, and he continued to progress in this, right? So gradually he learned that his duration should be more to attract the audience, and then he kept on experimenting, adjusting, practicing, and took a job television writer, and then gradually he was able to land in his appearances on talk shows. And by mid 1970s, he had worked his way into being a regular guest on the Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. So gradually he rose up the ladder. ठीक है, initially he was a small stand-up comedian. धीरे धीरे experiment करते he learned new things and understood that he needs to perform longer. Okay, so what would be a suitable title? The Magic of Disneyland, it is not relevant. Child labor laws, not relevant. History of stand-up comedy, it is not history of stand-up comedy as such, right? So it is basically typically about this person. So from guidebook giggles to giggles, a comedian's journey. So this is about a particular comedian's journey. Yeah, he was a guide previously, and now he became a like he started coming in these uh, talk shows. So guidebooks to giggles, easy one. Here's the next one. What can be inferred about the labor laws in 1955? Infer word does not mean that ki बहुत typical inference based question. It's an easy one only. What can be inferred about the labor laws? See, if you see this thing, labor laws were loose back then. ठीक है, stricter कहाँ से है? Loose थे ना तब, like strict आज है तब loose. Then we look at the second one. They allowed a 10-year to get a job. He said that this person was a 10-year-old, right? So ये inference है, direct inference है. मतलब ऐसे labor laws थे that a 10-year child could get a job back then. Okay, so that what we can infer, right? The person got a job when he was 10 years old. So that means, and it says that labor laws were loose. So आज की डेट में 10 ईयर की बच्ची को जॉब कहाँ मिलेगा, right? There are labor laws. So child labor के चक्कर में उसे जॉब ही नहीं मिलेगा. So they were loose then, and they allowed a 10-year-old. Then it says that there were no regulations on working hours. We cannot tell from the passage that whether there was safety standards were lower. What is it talking about safety standards? He's not working in a factory or something, right? He's working in a like amusement park, right? So we cannot talk. See, these two things we cannot get at all. मतलब कोई इसका reference ही नहीं है. ये opposite है, and this makes sense. If labor laws were there, a person, 10-year-old person can get a job. That means they allowed that time that a child could get a job in some place. Okay. So safety वाला कोई बात ही नहीं हो रही है, and working hours की कोई mention ही नहीं है. So you cannot infer these things. Right? Nothing directly, indirectly not given. This is indirectly mentioning that it says that the 10-year-old went there and he got a job. So that means the labor laws were such that a 10-year-old can get a job back then. Why did the comedian start reading poems in his act? This is also an easy question. Poems क्यों पढ़ने लगा वो? Last paragraph में दिया he started reading poems. But why? So it is clearly mentioned, right? He had to read three poems to make the routine long enough. So he had to increase the length, right? Remember, उसमें क्या दिया है? He started with 1 or 2 minute shows. उसके show लंबे नहीं होते थे. People were not interested in his shows. So he wanted to make his shows long. So showcase his love for literature. No, he does not says that specific audience ऐसा भी कोई mention नहीं है. Lengthen his short stand-up routine. ठीक है, पब्लिक स्पीकिंग स्किल्स तो उसकी पहले से ही ठीक थी. He did not need to improve it. So his shows were short, and he wanted to make those shows look long. That's why he uh, started reading poems there. Okay, so here the next set of questions, which is error spotting. Like error spotting, एक तो ये होता है कि parts में sentence दिए होंगे. You need to tell which part has error. Okay, another variety is these kind wherein some phrase is underlined, and you need to tell that what will come in its place. The team managed to pull out a miraculous victory in the game's final matches. What is the pull out का मीनिंग क्या होता है वैसे? Pull out means to basically like remove from something. Pull out का मतलब होता है like to detach from something. But here the right phrase that should be used is pull off. Pull off means like pull off, like अगर आप sports news पढ़ते हो, so you must have heard of this phrase frequently. Pull off a victory. Pull off a victory means to snatch a victory, right? Like जैसे कल कौन जीता था, सनराइजर पुल्ड ऑफ अ मिराकुलस विक्ट्री, राइट? 16 ओवर तक लगा नहीं था कि वो जीतेंगे, राइट? राजस्थान वाज इजीली विनिंग, राइट? देन that silencer came and followed by other Indian bowlers, and then they pulled off a miraculous victory, isn't it? So pull off means to basically snatch Like pull off basically means not to snatch, basically to get, manage to uh, like win something. So pull off ऐसे win के केस में pull off word होता है. Like uh, if you are getting an unexpected win, you say that you managed to pull off a victory. This is an easy one. If you look careful, you can find writing scratched on the glass. So see, ये क्या है, वर्ब है. ठीक है, इसके साथ एडवर्ब होना चाहिए. एडवर्ब यूजुअली एंड इन एल वाई. ठीक है, नॉट नेसेसरी, बट एल वाई वाला एडवर्ब होता है. सो इट शुड बी, इफ यू लुक केयरफुली. सो एडवर्ब, लाइक इफ इट इज एंडिंग इन एल वाई, दोज वर्ड्स आर adverbs. ठीक है, so look is a verb, so it should be defined by an adverb, and it is in simple present tense. If you are careful, uh, if you are careful, this makes a better replacement for it. If you are looking carefully, you can find it, तो simple present tense ही रहेगा. ठीक है, so it has to be if you look carefully. Now this is a common error which people make, right? And see, whenever we compare, right, we say that you are taller than me. ठीक है, हम like when we speak in colloquial English we use me, but हम कहीं भी me नहीं आता, यहाँ पे I correct है. So always remember that it should not be me, it has to be I. So me कहाँ पे आता है? So when you are on the receiving end, ठीक है, or like there is thing called subject pronoun, object pronoun. ठीक है, ऑब्जेक्ट प्रोनाउन क्या होता है? व्हेन यू रिसीव समथिंग, लाइक गिव इट टू मी. ठीक है, सो व्हेन यू आर कंपेयरिंग, never use me. Me is used when you receive something, right? When someone else is doing something, and whenever you use comparison, so use always I. Okay? That's a commonly made mistake in this. So if I think you may think you are taller than I. So ये तो गए, right? Now out of B and D, now it says you are mistaken. The person is thinking this, so it should be something contradictory. Okay? The person is thinking that he is taller than the given person, and is used for connecting. It's a connecting conjunction wherein you are talking on the same lines, but here we are talking about a contradiction. ठीक है, वो सोचता है पर वो गलत है. His thought is wrong. So we will use but here. Okay, but is used for contradictory things. So here there is a contradiction. The person is thinking that he is taller, but he is mistaken. So but वहाँ पे use होगा, and use नहीं होगा. And remember this rule: whenever you are comparing, you do not use me, you will use I. वो सुनने में गलत लगता है because we usually make it wrong, right? When we speak, we say it wrong. We say that he is taller than me. Never ever say that. You should say he is taller than I am. That is the correct grammar. And such kind of rules are sometimes tested, and people often make mistake in those. Okay, so in case you are preparing for CMAT, targeting the examination, and are looking for mock tests, you can take our mock tests. The link is given in the description of this video. All right, so let's do some fill in the blanks as well. So another question type. So we have covered the remaining types. The next is fill in the blanks. So what is the right? She is dash, but is always mistaken as dash. Okay, but the people who know her are aware that she likes to keep it to herself. Okay. But is like but अगर है तो these means that contradictory आने चाहिए, opposite set of words आने चाहिए, isn't it? Like अगर she is shy and but like and तब आता है जब same set of words होता है, right? And like if you use but that means opposite sense में होना चाहिए, shy timid नहीं आएगा, confident proud नहीं आएगा, ठीक है? We can eliminate these two options because अगर and use होता है, so and means we are talking along the same lines. If we use but it means we are talking about contradictory things, ठीक है? तो shy timid नहीं आएगा, confident proud नहीं आएगा. She is reserved but is always mistaken as outspoken. Okay. अब देखो mistaken कहाँ पे आता है? Mistaken basically means someone like जहाँ पे एक negative sense में word use हो रहा है. Like suppose like mistakenly जैसे जब नेगेटिव सेंस में ले रहे होते हैं, सो आउटस्पोकन इज नॉट इन अ नेगेटिव सेंस. सो इफ यू सी द कॉन्टेक्स्ट, शी इज रिजर्व बट इज ऑलवेज मिस्टेकन एज आउटस्पोकन, बट द पीपल हु नो हर आर अवेयर दैट शी इज लाइक्स टू कीप टू हर हर. ठीक है, रिजर्व्ड और आउटस्पोकन, आउटस्पोकन इज नॉट इन सेंस ऑफ मिस्टेकन, लाइक वर्ड मिस्टेकन आ रहा है ना. सो रूड इज समथिंग दैट इज टेकन एज मिस्टेकन, लाइक इफ अ पर्सन स्पीक्स लेस, राइट, द पर्सन इज मिस्टेकन फॉर रूड. ठीक है, अगर कोई बात नहीं करता है तो लोग सोचते हैं दीज आर रूड पीपल. एंड टेसिटर्न मीन्स रिजर्व्ड ओनली. टेसिटर्न का मीनिंग रिजर्व्ड होता है, पर्सन हु डज नॉट स्पीक मच. So she is taciturn but is always mistaken as rude. And that is why it says that, but the people who know her are aware that she likes to keeps to herself. So likes to keeps to herself means she talks less. Okay. So yes, likes to keep herself means introvert. Okay. So taciturn, reserved, introvert, these mean similar things. So यहाँ पे outs, why is like these two options can be easily eliminated. Outspoken is not fitting here because mistaken as means यहाँ पे कुछ नेगेटिव वर्ड हो रखा है, ठीक है? सो लाइक outspoken is not a negative word, ठीक है? Outspoken is a character, but if you say rude, that is a negative character. So mistaken as means जहाँ पे आप किसी के बारे में नेगेटिव सोच रहे होते हैं. ओके. Outspoken, you tell truth about this but not like rude is a like more negative term, that is a better contextual word. So if you dash by the first example, just try some of the dash ones, but don't give up. Okay? So it says don't give up. That means the person is facing some trouble, right? So if you get enlightened say don't give up का क्या होगा? Prepared, well equipped. These are like showing about the positive things. Now this should match. Okay? Like don't give up there. That means it is not like something is which is bothering the person. So let us see confused अगर put करते हैं. If you become confused by the first example, try some of the next ones. Okay, so that makes sense. You get confused, try the next examples, but don't give up. He is so dash in his approach that not a single point ever escapes his attention. एन इजी वोकैबलरी, ठीक है, जो यूजुअली लोगों को पता होता है. सो इट मीन्स लाइक ही नॉट अ सिंगल पॉइंट एवर escapes his attention, so he pays a lot of attention to it. So he has very high attention skills, and the right word is meticulous. Meticulous is someone who pays attention to details, मतलब जो छोटी छोटी चीजों पे ध्यान देता है. So that is called meticulous. So this fits in the context here. So fill in the blanks mostly are like contextual vocab based, like या तो vocab based होंगे, grammar based होंगे. So here's the next one, raindrops. Now we need to find a word which fits both the blanks. Okay, so it is comparatively easy because एक blank में नहीं पता तो दूसरे blank में आ सकता है. Because some words might fit in the first blank, some words might fit in the second. There will be only one word which would fit in both the blanks. So raindrop dash from the sky within no time. So raindrops will drop from the sky. ठीक है, reduce नहीं होगा, decrease नहीं होगा. सी ग्रेड के साथ रिड्यूस आ सकता है, ग्रेड के साथ डिक्रीज आ सकता है, इवेपोरेटेड नहीं आएगा. ठीक है, बट रेन ड्रॉप्स के साथ ड्रॉप्ड ही आएगा. सो ड्रॉप्स फ्रॉम द स्काई मीन्स टू फॉल फ्रॉम द स्काई, एंड ड्रॉप मीन्स टू डिक्रीज है. राइट, सो drop is the only word that will fit in both the sentences. Okay, another one wherein you need to fill in the same word in both the blanks. So the army was given a dash to cease shooting. So army can be given order, command, direction. Chance तो less है कि chance ऐसा ऐसा नहीं होगा army को chance देगा. So usually these three have a good dash of the Spanish language. So the right word that fits is command. So command means here means an order, okay, and command means to have a strong hold on certain subject. Okay, so you say that I have a good command of some language or uh, like some subject, etc. How is Zara coming dash her photography course? Command of is also correct. So how is Zara dash her photography course? So what will come in this place? Up against basically means like competing के उसमें आता है, right? So like if you compete with someone, so how do you come up against certain thing, right? Then you have the next word as over to. Over to does not fit here. Over to का मीनिंग क्या होता है? So basically, like over to basically कहाँ पे यूज होता है? He is ओवर टू चेंज होता है जब एक जगह से दूसरी जगह में चेंज होता है, ट्रांजिशन में यूज होता है ओवर टू। ठीक है, नाउ ओवर टू दिस पर्सन। ठीक है, सो ओवर टू इज यूज फॉर ट्रांजिशन। जैसे आप कभी कमेंट्री सुनी होगी तो दे से दैट नाउ ओवर टू यू। ओके, सो ओवर टू इज नॉट फिटिंग हियर। बैक फ्रॉम, नाउ सम ऑफ यू माइट थिंक ऑफ बैक फ्रॉम. So back from her photography course, we are not saying that it is like she is going to some classes, like physically going to a class and coming back. Okay, so back from her photography course is like you may think of it, but it is not a context कि वो किसी class में physically class में जा रही है. It says how is coming up along with. Sorry, coming along with means that how is it going on. Okay, how things are going on, and then how do you are coming along with your course. So how is it happening, so that is the right phrase here. ठीक है, over to नहीं आएगा, up against नहीं आएगा. Up against means that when you are competing against someone. ठीक है, over to means when you switch from one thing to another. Let's say like a person is speaking, that person gives mic to someone else, so they say that now over to you, so there we use over to. Although he did not prepare much, he breezed the final semester exam. So fill in the blanks में phrasal verbs भी आ सकते हैं, wherein some phrase is given to you and like it might. So he breezed dash the final semester exam. What is breeze? Like अगर guess करना हो, what is breeze? Breeze is that pleasant uh, air. Yeah. So we use the phrase called breeze through. Breeze through means to like clear something with ease. Yeah, like we say that that's a cakewalk sort of thing. So breeze through means to clear something with ease. So he breezed through the final semester exam. मतलब उसने prepare नहीं किया था पर वो easily clear कर लिया. I don't want to dash the argument again. ये easy होगा. ये चलो वो हो सकता है some there are some phrases which are lesser heard of, but this I expect all of you to answer correctly. I don't want to bring up the argument again. Bring up to means to bring back something. मतलब जो चीज खत्म हो चुकी है, you bring it back, so that is called bring up. Okay. Wrap up तो end करने को होता है. ठीक है. Come along means to go along with someone. Rush out. So these easily look irrelevant. So the right word that will fit here is bring up. What is the meaning of the idiom spilling the beans? So this is easy. स्पिलिंग द मीन्स तो बहुत इजी है. स्पिलिंग मीन्स टू गिव दैट सीक्रेट इन्फॉर्मेशन. ठीक है, राज खोलना. जैसे परेश रावल कहते हैं ना, अरे ये तो धोती खोल रहा है. ब्रेक द बैंक. व्हाट डज इट मीन टू ब्रेक द बैंक? ऑब्वियसली लिटरल मीनिंग नहीं होता है. ठीक है. व्हाट इट मीन्स टू ब्रेक द बैंक? सी, लीक सेंसिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होती है. लूट मनी नहीं होता. इट मीन्स कॉस्ट मोर देन वन कैन अफोर्ड. Okay. So let's say if you are going beyond your purchasing power, it says that you are breaking your bank. Okay, you are not breaking someone else's bank, you are breaking your own bank. मतलब ऐसा word नहीं होता break your own bank. Basically, it means that you are spending more than what you can afford. Feeling blue. What does it mean to feel blue? So feeling blue means that you are depressed or sad. Okay, that is the meaning of feeling blue. Rakesh is chucking his toys out of the pram. So you need to tell the meaning of this idiom. So idioms and phrases say be like when you talk of vocab, either synonym antonyms or your idioms and phrases. ठीक है, तो इससे questions expect कर सकते हैं apart from RCs. So what does chucking his toys out of his pram mean? Okay, so like sometimes you can guess it from sentence, and in this case it is not easy to guess. Chucking his toys out of his pram, putting his best effort, suggesting a new idea, feeling excited, losing his temper. Okay, so just imagine a child. ठीक है, अगर एक pram में बैठा है, you know what is a pram? You know what is a pram? The thing in which you carry small children. जो छोटे बच्चों की वो गाड़ी होती है, that is called pram, right? The one in which you keep small infants. Okay, chucking his toy as like now this is not a child, right? So if a person is like throwing toys, बच्चा toys क्यों फेंकेगा? बच्चा pram में, right? He's throwing his toys. In what scenario will he throw? Like sometimes these things help you guess. मतलब अगर थोड़ा बहुत लॉजिक लगा सकते हो, नॉट ऑलवेज. तो इस केस में लग सकता है कि बच्चा जब गुस्से में होता है तो टॉयज फेंकता है. ठीक है, सो द राइट आंसर इज लूजिंग हिज टेम्पर. Sometimes idioms can be answered by using some common sense also. That was one of the cases. Like अगर बच्चा गुस्से में होगा वो अपने खिलौने फेंकता है ना, वरना क्यों फेंकेगा? एक्साइटमेंट में हो सकता है, मे बी एक्साइटेड, बट यूजुअली अ पर्सन, सो we use this thing, checking his toys out of the pram, that means a person is losing temper and is angry. He must be turning in his grave. Now here also you can apply the common sense, like a person is turning in the grave. तो क्या होगा कि like a person is restless or upset, so turning in his grave means basically a person is upset. ठीक है, again guess कर सकते हो कि like a person is in his grave and he is feeling restless and he is upset. So haunting तो यहाँ पे एक bogus option दिया है, yeah, that is like grave से associate करके, but it is upset. Happy नहीं होगा, excited नहीं होगा. Usually if a person is upset, like he is not at rest, right? We say that rest in peace. The person is not at rest, so that means he is upset or he is shocked. Okay, so that is where we use this idiom called turning in his grave. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this session, so please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. So this was a session which was uh, for practicing the verbal section. So these are the kind of questions that you can get in the exam, right from RCs to parajumbles, vocab-based questions, synonym, antonyms. Okay, fill in the blanks. Okay, and some of like these uh, error spotting. Okay, idioms, phrases, and all. So here are four questions for you to answer in the comments of this video. So do attend these questions and let's see how many of you can get all four correct. So we'll be coming up with more sessions in the coming days. Okay, so tomorrow probably we will have a quiz on current affairs and some quizzes on static GK and other sections as well. So please do subscribe to the channel. And in case you are looking for mock test or someone else who is looking for mock test, you can recommend our mock test to them. Okay, and we have 10 mock tests for CMAT. One of them is free test. You can take that test and see it for yourself. Okay, so thanks for watching this video and please do subscribe to the channel if you have already not subscribed. Okay, so more sessions coming up. Wait for the upcoming sessions.